Live from the studios at the University of Kansas, you are watching KUJH-TV News.
The pressure is on for Kansas legislators to fix the K-12 education budget. We have the latest on funding numbers coming.
And the City Commission considering a new 5-story apartment and retail building, but not everyone is on board. We'll hear from both sides of the debate.
Plus, KUJH is adding security to all its stores, but is it necessary? We will hear from the local KUJH to see how they feel about the changes.
Welcome to KUJH News. I'm Malik Jackson.
And I'm Harold Johnson. City commissioners will meet tomorrow evening to discuss a controversial development plan for the southern block of downtown Lawrence. The Hub apartment complex will be a 5-story building and house more than 550 people. It will stretch over the 1100 block between New Hampshire and Massachusetts Street. The complex is developed by Core Space, and they will primarily target KU students. The Lawrence Historic Preservation Board recently denied the project 2 required certifications based on the height and size of the building. Some local business owners believe this is a good investment. However, many are concerned that this could have long-lasting negative repercussions.
When you build a building of that scale, first of all, it doesn't fit with the historic structures of the Douglas County Courthouse and the Watkins Museum that are right on that corner. It dwarfs them. It would create a skyline that doesn't allow you to see the courthouse from the rest of downtown, because the courthouse sits back off the street, and this would block the view.
I think that bringing students downtown is key to the success of downtown. We very much depend on our university for a lot of things in this town, and I think anything that gets them more aware of what's down here and has them down here walking around is great for everybody.
The City Commission must make its own unilateral decision tomorrow.
KUJH wants to assist law enforcement by adding an armed security guard for each store. A KUJH spokesman says police are overwhelmed in cities like Tulsa, Phoenix, and Dallas. KUJH reporter TJ Rose says local convenience stores don't find the extra step necessary.
According to PreparedGunOwners.com, KUJH spokesperson Justin Ayers says law enforcement is overwhelmed in cities like Tulsa, Oklahoma. He says violent crime rates at KUJH there are rising. But Lawrence convenience stores say they feel safe with the way things are now, and they don't think hiring armed security is a necessary step in Lawrence. I spoke with over 10 convenience stores in Lawrence, including Quick Shops, Miller Marts, and Phillips 66, none of which said that they felt a need for enhanced security, and they all feel comfortable inside their stores now. According to NeighborhoodScout.com, Lawrence is only safer than 17% of U.S. cities, but the odds of being a victim of a violent crime are just 1 in 371. And the violent crime rate per 1,000 people is only at 2.69%. A clerk at the Circle K convenience store on 23rd Street says she always feels at ease there. One Lawrence customer says he feels secure when making a pit stop at any convenience store in Lawrence.
No, I've lived in Lawrence a few years now, and I just know I never really feel unsafe. I just know not to go to the ones that are open 24 hours and go to it like late at night, really.
A few other customers say they too don't feel in danger while at local convenience stores. In Lawrence, KUJH News, I'm TJ Rowe.
There have only been 2 convenience store holdups in Lawrence the past 2 years, and the most recent one in October of last year.
Julie, I've got sunshine because it's sunny outside, and the weather couldn't even be more perfect.
It is perfect now, but clouds are moving into the area. Rain is going to begin, and we do have even some severe thunderstorms on the way with hail and very heavy winds.
Why do you always have bad news for me? Why don't you ever have bad news for Malik?
Lots of severe weather on the way. We do have a wet week ahead. Lots of rain on the way. We're looking at getting an additional 3 inches of rain these next 3 days, which is really going to pile on to the already flooding we have going on right now. Chance of severe thunderstorms tonight. Tuesday will be mainly rain, and then we have another chance of severe thunderstorms again on Wednesday into Wednesday night. And then we have cooler temperatures on the way starting on Thursday, and you'll be cool for your stop day on Friday. It is still sunny right now and 75 degrees, so go enjoy that the last couple hours before the rain moves into the area, because we don't have any rain right now, but that will be moving in as these clouds thicken. Here's a look at our clouds right now. As you can see, we don't have a lot going on in our area, but there's a lot north, and that is coming down into our area as that rain moves in. I'll have your full forecast coming up in just a bit.
The Kansas legislature came to an agreement this Saturday and put over $30 million back into higher education. Advocates for the increase say the Board of Regents suggested a $50 million increase before the 2019 session. KUJH reporter Samantha Gilstrap says the Supreme Court has been putting pressure on the state to fix the K-12 budget, leaving the higher ed budget out of focus.
Republican House Representative Sean Tarwater of Stillwell, Kansas, says it's unfortunate most of the education budget focuses on K-12 funding.
You know, I have a son that goes to KU. I have a son that's going to go to K-State next year, and it is very difficult to see that I'll be able to pay for that going forward.
All 6 public colleges in Kansas have suggested tuition increases to the Board of Regents for the following year.
And then you have my public school district is spending almost $17,000 per student, including kindergarten. I mean, you can go to kindergarten or you can go to KU.
House Chair of Higher Ed Ken Rogers of Agra, Kansas, says the legislature has added $33 million to the budget and schools shouldn't have to raise tuition.
With additional money we put into higher ed this year, that we will be able to hold tuition at least flat, if not possibly reduce it. Some of our community colleges possibly reduce property tax. I mean, that's the whole situation. Is education is so key to our economy.
The Wichita Eagle says the state budget to fund higher education has dropped significantly from $675 million to $569 million in the past 10 years. Public universities in Kansas are raising tuition to fill the gap. In Lawrence, Samantha Gilstrap, KUJH News.
As public universities raise tuition, students bear the burden of the additional cost. The Institute for College Access and Success says on average those graduated from Kansas public universities will be in $28,000 in debt in 2019, $8,000 more than 2009. And the Kansas legislature is also tackling tax issues with the passing of a new bill. It is designed to offer tax relief to people and businesses who had to pay more in-state income taxes due to changes in their federal tax laws in 2017. The bill will also save taxpayers around $240 million over the next 3 years. The Senate and House approved the bill and is headed to Governor Laura Kelly for the final approval.
Flexible work options like telecommuting continue to rise in the U.S. The U.S. Census reports 8 million Americans now work out of their house. KUJH reporter Erica Schulman is live in the newsroom. Erica, how does this option affect employees' overall outlook on working?
Working from home benefits both employees and the company. Forbes reports reducing workplace distractions like impromptu conversations with other employees increases worker productivity by 40%. Pew Research Center reports 74% of Americans over the age of 64 are willing to continue working with access to these kinds of flexible options.
It's easy to get in a rut after 20 years of working the same job. Engineer Keith Gooch says transitioning to working from home was his saving grace. His demanding travel schedule made the decision a no-brainer. His productivity levels continue to hit all-time highs without distractions from an office environment. The convenience of telecommuting cuts out time-consuming tasks like driving to work.
I now get up 5 minutes before I have to be at work and no longer have to get up and shower and look beautiful.
The U.S. Census Bureau reports 5.2% of Americans telecommute to work. That adds up to almost a 2% increase from 2000. Gallup Polling Company reports employee retention rates continue to rise for these companies.
I sit in my office in my shorts and my dog is at my feet.
Westar Energy marks its 10th year of utilizing this opportunity. The company reports 67% of their female employees use this flexible work option.
We started because we felt like it would be a good option for employees to get better work-life balance.
In a survey of 1,000 hiring managers, more than half predict 38% of their full-time employees will be working remotely in the next decade. Live in the newsroom, Erica Schumann, KUJH News. Back to you, Harold.
Well, Malik, did you ever dream about working in the house?
Well, I think I picked the wrong industry if I ever did. Maybe I can build a studio in my house.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, that's a great idea.
Ooh, I like that idea too. I might steal that one from you. So still to come on KUJH News, a stunning outcome at the 145th Kentucky Derby after the horse that finished first was disqualified. More about the controversial elimination to come.
And a dog owner was reunited with her fluffy friend after a big airline mix-up. Stay with us.
They call me Maxie, but I prefer tripod. I was your above-average four-legged homie, and then wham, bam, minivan. Some people pity me. Now that's lame. I still run, fetch, and swim. And the ladies love me. I'm the ultimate wingman. Just don't ask me to high five.
Hi.
Hi. Patience. Pass it on. A message from the Foundation for a Better Life.
Now, it's only May, but the word of the year could unfortunately be measles. The Centers for Disease Control and Prevention say the number of cases continues to rise as the highly contagious virus spreads across the country.
The number of measles cases in the United States is on the rise again. New numbers out Monday from the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention reveal 60 more people infected with the deadly disease, putting the total number of cases at 764. That's the highest number in 25 years. 23 states have reported at least one case of measles this year. Health officials blame misinformation about vaccinations for the current rise in cases and urge people to get vaccinated. The CDC recommends 2 doses of the MMR vaccine. The first when babies are between 12 and 15 months old. The second when kids are between 4 and 6. If you were born in 1957 or after, and you've never gotten measles or the MMR vaccine, you should get at least 1 dose of the vaccine. Those born before 1957 don't need to be vaccinated because health officials assume you either had measles or are immune to the virus. Symptoms of measles include a fever, cough, runny nose, red eyes, and a sore throat.
New York is the hardest hit state with 716 cases reported since last October. Health officials say the New York outbreaks in ultra-Orthodox Jewish communities are the longest and largest since measles was eliminated in the U.S. back in 2000.
And let's take a quick look at news from across the nation. Guests at a Florida Keys resort had to evacuate after raging flames engulfed the building. The fire began at 5 a.m. yesterday morning in the Bungalow's Key Largo Resort. Guests were evacuated, but no living areas were burnt and no one was injured. The resort has only been open for 5 months, but the owners are already planning to fix the damages and reopen soon. Derby fans are skeptical of the 2019 Kentucky Derby race results, following the first disqualification in the history of the race. The racehorse Maximum Security finished first at the Derby. The victory ended when competing riders accused Maximum Security of drifting into their horses. Officials reviewed the race footage and disqualified Maximum Security for interference, and the winning title went to Country House. And a woman got off her flight last week only to find a significant piece of her luggage was missing: her dog. A Virginia woman went to pick up her dog Beast from the oversized baggage claim in Raleigh, but he wasn't there. American Airlines employees said they don't know where he was. Turns out he was actually in Philadelphia. They put Beast on the wrong plane because of a mix-up of pet rules for her flight. It took Beast 30 hours to finally make it to his destination. And that's your look at news from across the nation.
No, Julie. I will not have my dog, my 3-pound dog, get mixed up on a flight.
No way.
No, that's just horrible. Like, I wouldn't even feel sad, but I'm talking about fury. Kind of like the fury of this rain that we're going to get, huh?
Yes, we're getting lots of rain, up to 3 inches more of rain. I'll have your full forecast coming up next. Stay with us.
Listen, you're my friend.
I noticed you haven't really been yourself recently.
Yeah, I feel like something's up.
How are you?
Are you okay?
Is there anything you want to talk about?
I just want to know how you're feeling.
And listen, even if you don't know what to say, I'm here to talk.
No matter what you're going through,
I just want you to know I'm here.
I've got your back. When you want to talk, I'm here.
Hey, look, it's those guys. Are you good to drive?
I'm fine.
How many did you have?
I should be fine.
You should be.
Go and step out of the vehicle for me.
See ya, buddy. Good luck.
So turns out, buzz driving and drunk driving, they're the same thing, and it costs around $10,000. So not worth it.
Jessica, we need to leave right now.
I need to get something. Dance recitals are so boring.
There's a me no one knows. Waiting to be set
So
free.
what's the empty suitcase for?
The grand prize trophy.
Duh.
Confidence. Pass it on.
I was born to be somebody.
The U.S. Department of Transportation says it plans to provide $2 million to Missouri for flood damage repairs. Around $10 million in damage closed 215 roads in 55 counties in March. Missouri has fixed 169 of the closed roads as of last week. The department will send the emergency funds once President Trump approves a federal emergency declaration and for Congress to pass a disaster aid package. Missouri Governor Mike Parson made the request for the declaration in April and has urged its approval. Although the flooding hasn't damaged local roads, northern eastern Kansas is currently under a flash flood warning until Wednesday night.
Rain and thunderstorms last weekend, and that's going to continue into tonight. We're at 76 degrees right now, and for right now the sun is out, so enjoy these last few hours of sunshine. The clouds are going to thicken up, and we are going to get some rain and some severe storms that are going to move into the area. Here's a look at your evening temperatures. As you can see, we're looking at rain probably starting around 8 p.m. At first it's just going to be some showers, and then that severe weather is going to move into the area later, probably around 9 to 10 p.m. after that rain starts. We're pretty average for this time of year. We're a little warmer than average, and that's what's causing the instability in the atmosphere that's making the severe weather move into our area since we're a little above average. Tonight is when we're going to see the thunderstorms move into the area. They're going to start out as isolated thunderstorms, so they're going to be here and there all over the eastern Kansas area. We're looking at about an 8-mile-an-hour wind, so it's not going to be super windy out there when they start, but gusts are really going to move in as the severe weather increases, and we're looking at about a 90% chance of rain. So it really is going to be some heavy rain out there, which is not going to help with the flooding that we're already having. This is what the National Weather Service put out. Our main things that are going to happen with the severe weather is hail. We're looking at ping pong size balls of hail that may fall. Wind gusts, those gusts can get up really heavy, up to 60 miles an hour as that storm starts to move into our area. We can't rule out tornadoes right now, but they are looking like they're going to be more towards the Salina area, so we probably aren't going to have them in our area. And then heavy rain. We're looking at about 3 inches that is going to come through these next 3 days. Tuesday, tomorrow, we're just looking at rain. We're going to hit a high of 70 degrees, and that rain is going to be here the entire day. We might have a few hours of dry area, but the rain is pretty much going to be here the whole day, packing on another inch of precipitation. We might see some thunderstorms on Tuesday night as we move into Wednesday, because Wednesday is the next big day for severe weather. Here's the storm prediction for today into tomorrow. We're in the slight risk area, and that's the highest area for this storm system right now. Here's a look at the weather pattern for 7 p.m. tonight. As you can see, we are really in that red area. That is the severe weather, and that is the intense risk for that. So the most severe weather we're probably going to see is tonight around 11 and after that, and it's probably not going to end until around 4 a.m. Here's 7 a.m. tomorrow morning. That's mainly just going to be rain as that stationary front just parks itself right over us. Looking at tomorrow at 7 p.m., you can see it's just going to be rain still. Rain all the way through the entire day. We might see a little bit of thunderstorms on Tuesday night, but we're mainly going to see that on Wednesday. Here's Wednesday at 7 a.m. It's going to start out as rain, and then we move into the afternoon, into the evening, as when we might see some severe weather again. And here's a look at your extended forecast. We do have a cool down coming down for the rest of the week as we move to 55 degrees on Thursday, and you'll have a pretty chilly stop day, but you will have a little bit of sunshine. Rain moves back into the area on Saturday and Sunday, and you will start your finals week dry at 73 degrees. Back to you.
All righty, finals week, no excuse not to go. There'll be no rain. But spring sports, the seasons are coming to a close in its conference championship.
Yes, it's definitely that time of year. Kansas baseball hosted Texas for a battle with 2 teams in the bottom of the pack of the Big 12. The Jayhawks pulled off some notable feats during the series and are looking to clinch a spot in the Big 12 tournament for a 3rd straight year. I'll tell you the Hawks' chances of making a trip to Oklahoma City after the break.
Can we get strawberries? Okay.
My twin brother Jacob has an autism spectrum disorder. He didn't have any friends as a result. It broke my heart. That was the inspiration behind my nonprofit Score a Friend. Educating people to include people with differences is so important because when Jacob's included, he feels like he can succeed in life and he feels like he actually has a purpose.
Kansas tennis is headed to the NCAA Super Regionals for the first time since 1998. The talk all season long has been on the senior leadership for the Jayhawks, but since postseason play began, the underclassmen have taken a bigger role in this team's success. Friday's weather was gloomy, but just fine to play outside for doubles action. KU took care of the first point, winning matches on courts 2 and 3. Singles play began outside, but some drizzle hit the courts during the final point of Maria Toran Ribes' match. Back inside, the delay did not faze the Algamesi Spain junior as she closed out her match, giving KU a 2-0 lead. Senior Nina Khmelnitskaya clinched the match after struggling late in the second set. The weather has been much better on Saturday as Kansas pulled off a 4-2 victory over the Florida Gators. The doubles point went to KU for a 24th time out of 25 matches. Toran Ribes outdueled her opponent, and two freshmen, Plorung Plapuk and Sonia Smogina, clinched the final 2 points. KU will play last year's national champs and third-ranked Stanford on Friday at 2 p.m. Going into the bottom of the 9th inning, KU trailed 2-1 to Texas. Brett Vosick led off with a deep home run to right field to tie the ball game. The Longhorns couldn't hold the Jayhawks at 2 because with a runner on first and 2 outs, freshman Casey Burnham smashed a ball into the night sky and gave KU their third walk-off victory of 2019. Kansas continued to pitch lights out on Saturday, beating Texas 1-0. It only took Ryan Sir 86 pitches to retire 27 batters. He allowed 2 hits and 2 walks. Yesterday, the scoring frenzy led to a Longhorn sweep for the Hawks. They won 10-6 and now sit in a tie for 5th place in the Big 12 standings and look to lock up a spot in the conference tournament next weekend at TCU. KU hosts Jackson State at Hoagland Ballpark for a 2-game midweek series starting tomorrow. Kansas State rowing shut out Kansas this weekend in the annual Sunflower Showdown. 12 seniors were honored for their time at KU after the regatta. The Big 12 rowing championships are up next in 2 weeks in Tennessee. Kansas softball came into the final series of Big 12 play needing 1 win or a Texas sweep over Baylor to clinch a spot in the Big 12 championship for the first time since 2010. In the first game, Sammy Williams of Iowa State hit a walk-off home run in the 9th inning. In the second game, the Cyclones held the Hawks to just 3 hits and no runs and won 1-0. Kansas went into the last game needing a win but couldn't pull it off. They lost off another walk-off home run from Williams. Not just 1 this weekend, but 2 for the junior infielder. Good news for Kansas, though. Baylor was swept by Texas, and that puts the Hawks as the 6th seed in this week's conference championship. In pool play, KU is matched up with Oklahoma and Texas Tech. KU men's golf is in its 4th straight NCAA tournament, and the Stanford Regional begins play next Monday. Last year, the team went on to play in the championship, where they placed 23rd. Other teams in the regional hosted by Stanford include Arizona State, LSU, and Virginia. If the Hawks finish in the top 5, they will advance to the championships in Fayetteville, Arkansas. What's next, Harold?
Thank you so much for that, Jose. It's always a pleasure to hear your rundown, and I'm so sad that it's going to be my last time hearing from my personal sports professor. But still to come on KUJH News, the Duke and Duchess of Sussex welcomed a baby boy today. The latest from across the pond on the House of Windsor's newest edition.
It's a short ride from your neighborhood to your naturehood. Find fun activities to do, like boating and biking, or camping and hiking, plus much more. To find a neighborhood park or green space near you, visit discovertheforest.org.
Make sure to blow up your royal blue balloons because it's a boy. Yes, Prince Harry and the Duchess of Sussex, Meghan Markle, welcome the royal baby. Monday morning, the boy was born healthy and weighed 7 pounds and 3 ounces. The prince says they are still working on a name for the child. It is unclear which royal title the crown will give the boy, but the leading possibility is the Earl of Dumbarton. The baby is now 7th in line for the throne. We could talk about that for days, we could, but I think it's more important that.
Well, you know what?
Bye,
Thank
guys.
you so much, Malik. But that's all we have for KUJH News for Monday, May 6th.
To view our stories again or to share them with your friends, visit our website at tv.ku.edu.
And check us out at our next newscast Wednesday at 4 p.m. for the latest news, weather, and sports.
Thanks for joining us all semester long. Have a great evening.